What's up guys, hello and welcome back to GTA 5. So today's video is going to be a little different. I'm doing this video in collaboration with IceMonk HD and we're going to be covering one of the more elaborate Easter eggs in GTA 5. Mel Abrams was born in 1947 and lived in Sandy Shores, but these things are not what he's known for. What he's most known for is taking the lives of 8 young men and hiding the bodies. Bodies which today we are going to show you how to find. So what we know of Mel Abrams so far is that he was born in 1947, lived in Sandy Shores and died in prison in December 2004 aged 57, never having revealed where the bodies were. He was also never convicted of the murders as no proof or indeed any bodies were ever found. He instead was incarcerated for kidnapping and torture. So from that information, the obvious place to start looking for clues would be at Mel's house, which we've marked on the map for you. Once we arrived at Mel's house, we noticed that there's not much left, and we can safely assume that it's either fallen into disrepair or was trashed by others who knew Mel was a killer.
Moving to the back of the house, this was reaffirmed as graffiti text reads, "Go away Mel Abrams, you're a wrong'un." Inside the house are several inscriptions, the first of which reads, "There will be 8, referring to the number of victims that Mel has planned. And if you look closely at the wall, you'll notice a tally mark showing 5, possibly referring to the number of victims he has killed when this was written. However, I find it a bit odd that both inscriptions are actually 2 lots of 5 tallies. So does this mean that there was 5, or does it mean that there was actually 10 victims or more? And maybe calling Mel the Infinity Killer is blinding us from seeing that he killed more. It's just a thought.
Also on the wall is a crude drawing of what looks like a mountain, which could be a possible link to Mount Chiliad. Inside the house is yet another inscription that reads, "8 is just infinity stood up," referring to the number of victims but also to Mel's strange obsession with the number 8 that he later admitted to while he was incarcerated.
Still in Sandy Shores, but in a different house which we've marked on the map for you, is a newspaper clipping which gives us some information. Mel Abrams, the suspected Infinity Killer, passed away last night in Bolingbroke Penitentiary while awaiting trial for abduction and torture. Abrams, 57, was suspected to be responsible for the Infinity murders, a series of disappearances that happened 5 years ago. Police believe the 8 victims, who were all single young men killed while jogging, were murdered by the same person and had circumstantial evidence linking Mr. Abrams to the victims. No bodies were ever found and Abrams never confessed, although he did admit to a weird obsession with the number 8.
This is by far the most reliable source we've found for this investigation, as it's an official newspaper that was printed at the time in 2004. It also tells of him as the suspected Infinity Killer and that he died in prison aged 57. It also mentioned that his alleged victims were all single young male joggers.
Still searching around Sandy Shores, we found the first of 2 rock graffitis that can be found. This one is better known as the serial killer's nursery rhyme, and it reads, "1 is done, 2 was fun, 3 tried to run, 4 called mum, 5's not alive, 6 is Nick's, 7's in heaven, 8 won't wait."
I find this personally very creepy and interesting all at the same time, as it's an inside look at the sick mind of Mel Abrams. The next rock graffiti is actually our first real clue as to where to look next. It reads, "They want me they can have, but they'll never get my people, even though I shall leave them sign enough where they put me." The clue is in the line, "I shall leave them sign enough where they put me." This is referring to where they put Mel, which as we know is prison, or more specifically Bolingbroke Penitentiary. In Bolingbroke Penitentiary, behind cell block 9B, even though all the sources we found actually said 9A, on a wall in the recreation area is the inscription, "Where water meets the land and fire once spewed forth, there the infinite 8 shall stay until I return." There is also a little picture of what looks like a mountain again, although on closer inspection it's actually not the mountain, it's actually this island formation. The writing mentions a mountain, or rather a volcano, in the words "fire once spewed forth", but I'm pretty sure that this is basically telling you about a landmark that's close by, and it's pretty clear that the Infinite 8 are his victims. So is this a hint to where the bodies are? Well, let's go and see.
Once at the islands, it doesn't take long before we find out. There's a lot of natural mini coves on the island, or smooth curved sides, which are perfect for sheltering a body, and lo and behold we find some. If you want to find them for yourself, here is a map with the location of all 8 of the bodies.
And that's pretty much it. Well, sort of. There are a couple of other locations that are mentioned as having a link to the Infinity Killer.
The first of which is in the Yellow Jack Inn back in Sandy Shores, where there are bloody footprints around the 8-ball pool table.
The second is this abandoned shack, which is supposed to be where Mel prepared the bodies before putting them in the sea. But I personally think this is more of a case of people embellishing on the clues that are already there. Neither of these places are plastered with the number 8, which is something we've seen in almost every location. And there just seems to be no other link to the main Easter egg, apart from they're both close to locations of other clues. But before we sign off completely on this investigation into the Infinity Killer, I want to add a question of my own. If all the victims were young single males, then why does this body have boobs? Thank you so much for watching our collaboration. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it gave you quite a lot of insight into the actual Infinity Killer for GTA 5. Don't forget to go and check out Ice Monk HD's channel, there's a link in the description, and if you did like this, don't forget to leave a like and a comment below, and I'll see you guys again next time. See ya! This video was brought to you by MPG Servers, high quality server hosting at affordable prices. Use the code TASER to pay only $6 per gig of RAM for your very own server.